here with the man, the author, Pastor Louis Reyes, author of Reach a Generation.
That's right.
It is out now. Awesome book. Pastor, talk to us a little bit about why this book is so necessary for right now, this hour right now.
Well, I'm excited about the book because right now we're living in a time where fatherlessness is an epidemic.
Yeah.
And when you start talking about reaching a generation, what really comes through on this book, Jordan, that I'm really excited about is one, just how God reached me and how God was a father to the fatherless and how God took me from the streets to where I am today.
Yeah.
Powerful story
Yes.
just in that. But also, too, it really shows the journey that God took me on as a child to a grown man through ministry, and how God utilized my life and a load of a sequence of events to really reach this young generation. My life story, Jordan, is what really helped bring forth the heart that God has put inside of me to reach this young generation. This time and season that we're in right now in our nation, where fatherlessness is just running rampant and it's out of control, and so many people are often wondering, what are we going to do to reach the youth of America today? And the answer to that is this next generation must be fathered. And you cannot reach young people outside of a father. The father plays such a significant role in the life of young people. And I was talking to the leaders in South Carolina, and they said, what is it going to take to reach this young generation? And they thought I was going to come up and tell them all, we need to get the young people on fire for God, We need to get these young people on fire for God and get them serving God. But I told them, I said, the reason the young people are not responding to God is we have a lack of fathers right now in our nation.
There's so many nuggets in the book
Yeah.
that you talk about your life and just what God brought you through. When somebody picks this up, there's so many different, audiences that can receive hope. The kid that, doesn't have a mother or father, and God still has a plan for life. Or the pastor that is wanting to reach out. So speak to a little bit to the audiences that are going to pick this up. The kid that might be thinking, well, God has a plan for life. Or the pastor that wants to reach to the next generation. How is this going to be a good tool?
I'm glad you said that, because for the young person right now, if you're watching this right now, this is a great tool for you, especially if you're in your early teens or you're just coming into your teen years. This is a great read for you, because this is going to talk to you about, again, how God took a person like me. I was just a young man growing up. I didn't know who Christ was as a young boy growing up, but God made his way to me. And I'm telling you, when God made his way to me, I made myself available to God. And God reached me at a very young age. There's a lot of young people out there too, Jay. They don't have fathers. They don't have good homes. Well, neither did I. I didn't have the best home life and home situation going on. I had a father. He loved me, but he really wasn't involved within my life. And you know what? It didn't matter. God still found a way to reach me. God still found a way to bring to pass my purpose. And then to the pastor or to the leader or to the mom or to the dad, this is a great story of not only redemption, but it's a great story of faith.
That's good.
My wife and I walked out faith in this journey. You're going to love it, because you're going to read stories in there where we thought the ministry to young people was over. But once again, God came through and reached us and broke us through, and we saw the hand of God, the power of God. But all of that happened because it's a great story of faith and redemption as well. I decided to say, I'm going to take this big yellow truck and put that yellow truck in the park on the south side of Waukegan, and I started reaching 30 children out in the park in Waukegan on a Saturday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. 30. It was an opportunity for a solution to take place.
As a little girl, I grew up with church, and I started to find out that there are people who cared about me. I've been coming to the ministry since I was 6 years old. Growing up, I just really felt compelled to come to this place.
I was like 1 when I first came, and it's different seeing a pastor putting all his reputation on the line to, get kids to Christ.
Had bad grades, C's, D's, F's, had attitudes with teachers, didn't want to listen. My mom wanted to help me, didn't want to listen. Pastor Louis started helping me with my attitude, staying away from boys, making sure I'm on top of my homework. He'll like walk through the building, he'll see me sitting down, talking and stuff. He'll like say, "Are you done your homework?" I'll be like, "No." And then he'll talk to me, encourage me. He'll just make sure that I'm on top of my things. When I was little, they told me that God had a plan for me. And when I first came, all I knew was that Jesus died on the cross for me. But when I was told that he had a plan, I stuck around because I was curious to find out what it was.
So I started coming a little more with my cousins, and the thing is, the reason why it drew me in is because you don't see a whole lot of guys doing that, especially in my situation, because my mom was the mom and the dad. I never seen my dad happy, smiling, jumping around and stuff like that. I've never seen it before.
For me, some of my most fondest memories happened right here at this house. I remember waiting with anticipation for the sidewalk bus just to come. And when it came, it just would bring me so much hope and joy, just knowing that I was gonna go to a place that would provide for me, that would encourage me, that would motivate me to become the woman that I am today.
So I remember right here in this field, Pastor used to set up the truck and the tarps and everything. And you know what? It was so much magic that came out of that. You know, when I first came over here at 4 years old, it was just so much fun. He did above and beyond for us kids out here. And although at that time when we first started, it wasn't that many of us, he made it seem like it was 1,000 of us out there, and he made us feel like it was home.
We pretty much took all the kids from these projects right here, and we would bring them out and do the service for the kids. It was awesome. I remember the first time that 30 kids showed up at the First Sidewalk Sunday School site right here at King Park, right here in Waukegan, Illinois. And from there, now we reach thousands of kids every single week. When a father gets in his rightful place, listen to me, he protects his children. Oh yes, he does. He ministers to his children. He shows his kids who they are in Christ through him. Men, you need to listen. Because the days of Pastor Louis preaching and teaching and thumping over the head young people with the Word of God, I'm going to still do that, but my job now, 20 years into this, I've got to awaken not this young generation as much as I need to awaken the men.
How can, when somebody picks this up, how easy is it to apply? One thing, and I'm biased because I sit on your teaching every week, but you do such a good job just breaking things down, very applicable. You say it all the time. God's no respecter of person. Yeah. He took a kid from the south side of Waukegan, and he's done such wonders through you. When they pick this book up, how easy it to apply to their situation?
Yeah, well, I tell people this all the time, and this is very important for people to understand, because when I write, when I preach, when I put sermons together, I don't talk about other people's experiences.
Right.
I talk about my own.
Yeah.
And I talk about what God has done for me.
Yeah.
And I didn't grow up in a Christian home, and I was not fundamentally developed as a Christian. I really wasn't. So a lot of my learning has come, like a lot of people's learning within the church. You go to church, you learn what the pastor's teaching you. I had great pastors in my life that taught me certain principles, and I lived them out. This book is loaded with principles in there that you're going to just have to walk out. You're going to have to trust God. And one of the simplest things about this book, Jordan, is the journey of faith. It's trusting God. Now, sometimes it doesn't feel like it's simple, but the principle is simple. Just trust God in what God is wanting you to do for your life, for your purpose, and for your destiny.
You mentioned a lot of people in this book that influenced your life and that had an impact on your life. The reason why they're in this book is because when you were going through early stages of ministry, you invested into their resources. I almost want to talk to every single pastor and say, you need to invest in this. If you've got youth pastors, if you've got staff, a whole church, you've got to get this investment into.
Well, it's a very important principle. I just told a pastor the other day, every time I wanted my church to change, I would sow into my church certain investments, and those investments would be books. Moms, dads, grandparents, buy it for the family. Don't just buy one book. Buy it for the husband,
Yeah.
buy it for the
Yeah.
wife, buy it for the teenagers. Pastors, leaders, get it for other leaders in the church. You reap what you sow. And I like to say that our church is what it is today. And we've got a wonderful church. We've got a strong church. You know, I've sowed into your life.
Absolutely.
I would sow resources and material, books. And this book, Reach a Generation, if you sow it into your family, you sow it into your kids, you sow it into your spouse, you sow it into your church, what you're going to reap is a new level of faith in those people.
Yeah.
People are going to trust God. People are going to believe God because it's a wonderful story.
Yes.
It's a
Yes.
story of how God took a person like me, a kid like me, when I was just a little kid, and raised me up
Yes.
to be a pastor
Yep.
of a great church that reached a generation.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I think before we close, and thank you for your time, what could you tell us going out? This is more than just a great story.
Yeah.
It is God's end time plan.
Yeah.
For the person that's watching right now, why is it important to reach a generation?
I think right now, because within this nation right now, the United States, but really around the world, there's an epidemic of fatherlessness. There's young people that just don't have fathers. No one's caring for them. For a slew of reasons that I don't have time to try to get into right now.
Right.
But I will tell you this, young people want to know God. Young people want to be on fire for God. Young people want to love God. And guess what? Young people want to be in church. They just need someone to turn their hearts back to them, according to Malachi 4, 5, and 6, and turn their hearts toward them. And when you do, they are so open for us to reach them with the gospel of Jesus
That's right.
Christ.
Well, the book is Reach a Generation. It is out now. You can get it wherever you download your iBooks.
Yeah.
You can get it at Amazon, the App Store.
Creation House.
Creation House is the publisher, which is Charisma.
Yep.
I am excited that this thing is out now, and I think it's going to touch a lot of people. So make sure you're looking out for more from Pastor Louis, Reach a Generation.